afternoon, the atmosphere in Lily and Dad's small, cozy house felt somewhat subdued, different from the usual cheerful liveliness. Little monkey Lily was sitting by herself perhaps on her familiar armchair in the living room, or nestled by the window. Her big, round, dark eyes gazed into the distance, not focusing on any particular point, but seemingly lost in an indescribable sadness, a faint sense of loneliness. Lily's posture was a little slumped, her small tail not wagging mischievously as it usually did. It was unclear what had caused Lily's mood to dip like this. Perhaps she had just experienced something unpleasant, or simply felt a certain emptiness. Just then, Dad walked into the room. Seeing Lily looking unhappy, her small face tinged with melancholy, Dad gently approached. In his hand was a brand new, pristine white shirt, neatly folded, perhaps a small gift a little surprised Dad wanted to give Lily to cheer her up. Dad presented the shirt to Lily, then tried to hold it up against her, intending to dress her. But strangely, Lily showed some resistance. She turned her face away, using her tiny hands to gently push the shirt away, seemingly unwilling to accept this attention. Or perhaps she was still immersed in her own private sorrow. Dad was probably a little surprised and slightly taken aback by Lily's unexpected reaction, but he didn't force her. He gently placed the white shirt on a nearby table and then quietly left the room, perhaps to give Lily some personal space to rebalance her emotions on her own.
Bỏ áo đây nhé. Để bữa sau ba mua cho Ly một cái áo giống vậy nhé, được không? Đi mặc. Đi ngồi đây nào. Này Ly này, ăn xong bỏ đây nha. Ăn xong cái lau đi nhé.
As soon as Dad had left the room, returned to its quiet state. Lily remained alone. But then her innate curiosity and playful nature began to stir, overcoming her momentary sadness. Lily's gaze drifted toward the white shirt Dad had just left. She slowly approached it, examining the shirt for a long moment. Then, as if drawn by an invisible force, Lily picked up the shirt and began to try it on herself. Though a bit clumsy and fumbling slightly with the buttons and sleeves, eventually Lily managed to wriggle her head through the collar and slip her small arms into the wide, billowy sleeves. The white shirt seemed a little oversized for Lily's petite frame, making her look even more amusing and adorable. Lily stood before a mirror, if there was one, turning this way and that, admiring herself in the new outfit, a mischievous little smile playing on her lips. Perhaps Dad's new shirt had after all managed to dispel some of the sadness in her little heart. A little later, Lily was seen sitting at her familiar little dining table. In front of her was a bowl of smooth, thick white yogurt, perhaps a snack Dad had prepared to comfort Lily. She held a small spoon, slowly, deliberately scooping up spoonfuls of yogurt and putting them into her mouth. The sweet, cool taste of the yogurt probably helped to improve Lily's mood a bit, but her face still held a hint of pensiveness, of deep thought. When Dad once again left the room, perhaps to attend to some work, Lily again turned her sad gaze out the window, looking towards some distant, undefined point, as if waiting, searching for something far away. Sadness still seemed to linger somewhere in the little monkey girl's sensitive soul. Afterwards, a rather surprising and meaningful action from Lily took place. She picked up the new white shirt that Dad had given her earlier, the one she had just tried on. Lily hugged the shirt to her chest, then slowly walked into the bathroom. Here she found a small plastic basin, perhaps one often used for washing clothes. Lily placed the white shirt into the basin, then turned on the tap, letting cool, fresh water fill it. Next, imitating what she often saw Dad do, she used her tiny hands to rub and dunk the shirt in the water as if trying to wash it clean. Though Lily's actions probably only made the shirt wetter and perhaps a bit more crumpled rather than actually cleaner, it held a sense of care, a desire to do something for Dad. Or perhaps it was Lily's way of expressing her emotions. Having completed her diligent laundry efforts, Lily carefully lifted the wet shirt out of the basin, tried to gently wring out some of the water, then placed it into a small plastic basket. She then somewhat strenuously carried the basket containing the wet shirt to where Dad was sitting.
Chú đây làm gì? Hả? Chú đây làm gì ấy? Làm cái gì sai đúng không? Có phải không? Có phải làm gì sai không? Trả lời hả? Trả lời hả? Ồ. Làm sai đúng không? Ừ? Áo mới mua mà làm dơ rồi. Mới mua đấy.
At this moment, Dad also seemed to be not in the best of spirits, his face a little pensive perhaps, due to some work-related issue or something else that was troubling him. Seeing Dad looking sad and perhaps sensing Lily's effort and affection, through her act of bringing him the wet shirt, Lily with her special sensitivity and affection didn't hesitate, but gently climbed into Dad's lap.
Nào.
She nuzzled her small, soft, furry head against Dad, her tiny arms wrapping around his neck, as if wanting to comfort, console, and share his burden. And it seemed that Lily's sincere, uncalculated concern touched the deepest corners of Dad's heart. He hugged Lily tightly, and all his worries seemed to dissipate. Father and daughter appeared to have found empathy, understanding, and a wonderful reconciliation. The white shirt, though wet, had become a magical bridge for their feelings. To make the atmosphere in the house more cheerful and warm after those subdued moments, and also to celebrate their reconciliation, Dad decided he would go into the kitchen and prepare a truly delicious and hearty meal. The chosen dish today was spaghetti with a rich tomato sauce, served with a sunny-side-up fried egg. Lily was visibly very excited and thrilled to see Dad preparing food. She toddled after Dad in the kitchen, curiously observing every step. When the meal was ready, fragrant with the aroma of tomato sauce blended with fried egg and golden pasta, Dad carefully served a small portion onto Lily's pretty little plate. She sat at her table, using her little fork, eating with great gusto and joy. The soft, chewy pasta, combined with the tangy, sweet, savory tomato sauce and the rich, flavorful fried egg, delighted Lily immensely. Pure happiness was evident on her face. While father and daughter were happily enjoying their delicious meal, Mom, a gentlewoman, perhaps Dad's wife or another close family member, entered the room. In her hand was a plate of bright orange segments, freshly peeled and looking very juicy and inviting. Mom smiled gently, approached Lily, then took an orange segment, intending to feed it to her as a dessert. But this time, rather surprisingly, Lily refused. She gently turned her head away, not wanting to eat the orange segment Mom offered. Mom was perhaps a little surprised by Lily's reaction, but didn't force her. She smiled, placed the plate of oranges on the table, and then quietly left the room. And for some reason, after Mom left, Lily, despite having just enjoyed a hearty meal, once again showed a hint of sadness, of loneliness, her eyes again gazing into the distance. Soon after, as the atmosphere in the room seemed to dip slightly, again due to Lily's fluctuating mood, another man, perhaps a close uncle in the family, or a very dear friend of Dad's, walked in. Seeing Lily looking unhappy and sitting by herself, this man gently approached. He didn't say much, just smiled kindly, then slowly bent down, opened his arms wide and lifted Lily up in a very steady and affectionate embrace. He hugged and comforted Lily, perhaps whispering words of love into her ear. Then he carried Lily to her own pretty little warm bed. Perhaps it was time for Lily to rest, to sink into a peaceful sleep, to forget the complex emotions of the afternoon. Lily snuggled into his arms, feeling the warmth, protection, and safety. Then slowly, her big round eyes closed, and she drifted off to sleep, concluding an afternoon filled with so many different emotional notes, from vague sadness, childlike curiosity, the joy of reconciliation, excitement over delicious food, to moments of being loved, cared for, and comforted by her dearest ones. A little later, perhaps, growing a bit tired of the phone or hearing a familiar sound from outside, Lily placed the phone down on the table and nimbly scampered over to the window. Her big, round, dark eyes gazed outwards, looking into the distance, her expression tinged with a hint of anticipation of waiting. It seemed she was expecting someone, perhaps Dad, her indispensable companion, in every joyful escapade. The view outside might have been a small yard with a few green potted plants or a quiet village path. And Lily's wait was not in vain. Before long, Dad's familiar figure appeared at the gate. He had just returned from the market, carrying a rather large shopping bag, perhaps filled with fresh food and essential items for an upcoming day of fun. Lily, with her sharp eyes, immediately noticed that among Dad's groceries was a bright red, juicy apple and a few golden orange oranges, her favorite treats. Joy clearly lit up Lily's face, and she quickly ran to the door to welcome Dad. Once inside the house, after putting everything away, Dad and Lily began to prepare a refreshing and nutritious summer drink together. Dad took the golden orange juicy oranges out of the bag. Then, with Lily's enthusiastic assistance, a father and daughter used a small manual juicer to extract fresh pure orange juice. Lily was visibly thrilled with this task. She used her tiny hands to try and hold half an orange steady, while Dad applied pressure and rotated it on the juicer's reamer. The gentle sound of orange seeds dropping the fresh, clean aroma of orange essential oils filling the kitchen and the stream of golden orange juice slowly flowing into a clear glass pitcher. All created a truly joyful and cozy atmosphere. Lily occasionally dipped her finger into a bit of juice remaining on the juicer and licked it off her face, alight with delight. After preparing a pitcher of delicious golden orange juice, Dad also carefully washed the red apple that Lily had spotted earlier. The orange juice and the apple were skillfully arranged by Dad into a pretty little woven basket, along with a few other items necessary for an outing, perhaps a picnic blanket and some light snacks. Father and daughter were ready for an excursion to the fields, promising many exciting things. Before long, Dad was steadily seated on his familiar scooter, with Lily placed securely in front, perhaps in a special carrier or a small custom-designed seat. The scooter slowly rolled out, taking father and daughter away from their little house towards the lush green, expansive fields that stretched as far as the eye could see. The cool country breeze blew past, carrying the scent of young rice and the smell of the earth. Upon reaching a spacious, flat, grassy area situated beside a verdant green rice paddy, Dad stopped the scooter. Lily nimbly jumped off, unable to contain her eagerness and delight at being immersed in the free, open expanse of nature. She joyfully ran and jumped on the soft grass, and then her mischievous eyes were drawn to a tree, not too tall, but with many lush branches and leaves nearby. Without a moment's hesitation, Lily utilized all her innate climbing skills, nimbly gripping the rough tree trunk, then flitting from one branch to another with practiced ease. Lily's quick, agile, and confident movements made Dad standing below smile with pride, silently marveling at his little daughter's nimbleness and wonderful instincts. After Lily had thoroughly enjoyed climbing and exploring her private treehouse, she scampered back down to the ground and ran to Dad. Father and daughter played together on the lush green grass. Dad might have tossed a small ball, and Lily would quickly chase after it, then bring the ball back to Dad with her mouth or hands. Joyful laughter and affectionate gestures echoed in the peaceful, idyllic countryside setting. When both were a little tired from playing, Dad took out the red apple he had brought from home. He carefully peeled off the thin outer skin with a knife, then cut it into small, easy-to-eat pieces and offered them to Lily. She sat obediently in Dad's lap or on the picnic blanket, slowly savoring the sweet, crisp apple slices, her clear eyes shining with delight and contentment. Dad also poured a glass of cool orange juice for Lily to drink. Not only apples and orange juice, it seemed Dad had prepared very thoroughly for this outing. He also took out a small bottle of drinking yogurt, perhaps a fruit-flavored kind that Lily really liked. She delightedly took the bottle of yogurt, tilted her head back, and drank it with gusto the creamy, tangy sweet taste of the yogurt, adding variety to Lily's al fresco snack.
chơi đi.
After hours of joyful play in the fields, enjoying the fresh air and delicious snacks, Lily and Dad packed up their belongings, then got back on the familiar scooter to return home as the afternoon sun began to soften, painting the sky in hues of gold. The trip, though short, had brought Lily many exciting experiences and memorable moments. Upon returning to their beloved home, Lily still seemed to be full of energy. She continued her mischievous, playful games with Dad in the living room, perhaps a game of chase or some affectionate wrestling and tickling, filling the house with laughter. The close, affectionate bond between father and daughter was evident in every gesture, every look.
Bỏ mũ ra bàn đi con. Đúng rồi, cái mũ xuống bàn đi con. Này vào đây. Đây trước. Đây. Đúng rồi. Sao, có đau bụng không? Cái gì đây? Có đau bụng không? Đi làm gì ăn nhé? Đi nào. Hay mình làm trụ cột ăn nhé Linh nhé. Đây, bạn xem nó có gì nào. Đây.
After a while of playing, perhaps it was time to prepare for a proper meal. Dad decided he would try his hand at making a special and somewhat novel dish for Lily Japanese sushi. Lily was visibly very curious and thrilled as she watched Dad prepare the necessary ingredients, pliable sticky rice cooked from Japanese rice, dark green dried seaweed sheets, nori, fresh seafood like salmon, tuna, shrimp, or more suitable vegetarian ingredients, along with cucumber, avocado, and omelet cut into strips. Dad meticulously, skillfully spread a thin layer of rice onto a sheet of seaweed, then arranged the various fillings in the center and rolled it up into neat, round sushi rolls. Lily sat beside him, her eyes never leaving Dad's hands, occasionally reaching out to point at things, making excited sounds.
Rồi, cái này xong rồi nhá. Giờ đến dưa leo nhá. Đây nè. Bọc kim. Ly ơi, trứng về rồi đây. Ui, con làm gì vậy? Cái gì vậy Ly? Trời ơi, cái gì đấy? Hả? Cái gì? Ok, làm tấm này nha. Rồi, trứng được rồi.
When the colorful, enticing sushi rolls were completed and cut into small, bite-sized pieces, then beautifully arranged on a plate, Dad picked out a few pieces for Lily's own special plate. Lily carefully used her tiny hands to pick up a piece of sushi, hesitated for a moment, then slowly brought it to her mouth to taste. It seemed the novel taste of this dish from the land of cherry blossoms greatly appealed to Lily. She ate with relish, then continued to explore the different types of sushi with various fillings. After the special and delicious meal, Lily resumed her playful, energetic antics, concluding a joyful day filled with new experiences and memorable moments, brimming with love beside her wonderful dad. One afternoon, when the morning's tasks seemed to have been temporarily set aside and a quieter atmosphere settled over the house, Dad decided he would dedicate some time to teaching little Monkey Lily, perhaps with the hope that his intelligent little girl could learn something new and exciting. Father and daughter sat together at their familiar small table, a place where Lily often played and ate. Dad carefully placed a pristine white-lined notebook, still smelling faintly of new paper, and a freshly sharpened pencil in front of Lily. Then he gently took Lily's tiny hand, trying to guide her on how to hold the pencil correctly, how to make the first tentative strokes on the paper. But it seemed that Lily, on this particular afternoon, had absolutely no interest in this serious schoolwork. Her mind appeared to be wandering elsewhere, perhaps, to the exciting games in the garden or some enticing snacks. Lily just stared blankly at Dad, then at the notebook and pencil, with an air of unfamiliarity, showing not a shred of cooperation or curiosity. Her big, round, dark eyes would gaze up at the ceiling, then drift toward the window, completely unfocused on Dad's lesson. All of Dad's efforts, from holding Lily's hand to demonstrate writing to his gentle words of encouragement, seemed unable to capture his little student's attention for the lesson. Seeing this, Dad let out a soft sigh, perhaps understanding that forcing Lily to learn at this moment was impossible. He smiled kindly, stroked Lily's head, and then decided to temporarily halt this reluctant lesson, leaving Lily alone in the room with her own thoughts while he quietly stepped outside, perhaps to get some fresh air. As soon as the door closed behind Dad, Lily seemed to be liberated from the pressure of learning. She immediately ignored the notebook and pencil lying forlornly on the table, her attention quickly shifting to her favorite toys, things that brought her joy and the freedom of exploration. Lily reached for her charming little pink toy laptop, a gift Dad had given her long ago. She flipped open the lid, then used her tiny fingers to tap, tap, tap on the plastic keyboard, her mouth murmuring cute, cheep, cheep. Sounds as if composing an important document or chatting with an imaginary friend. Then, as if feeling the room was a bit too confining, Lily delightedly began to run and jump around the room from one corner to another, her small feet pattering tirelessly. She even ran to the large window, curiously pulling aside the thin curtain to peek outside, perhaps to see what Dad was doing, or simply to gaze at the familiar garden scene with its colorful potted flowers. Afterwards, with a technically proficient leap, Lily hopped onto the top of the lemon-yellow mini-fridge, a rather high perch in the room, where she could survey her entire domain and feel like a little queen reigning on her private throne. A little later, perhaps, tired after her energetic play, or simply feeling a bit hungry and craving something sweet and cool to quench her thirst, Lily spotted a small watermelon, its skin a glossy green, still with its stem intact, placed in a nearby corner. With her characteristic determination and perhaps a touch of cunning, she began her quest to conquer this watermelon. Just as Lily was engrossed in her sumptuous watermelon feast, Dad walked in from outside. Seeing the floor stained with red watermelon juice and Lily sitting amidst the battlefield she had created, eating with great relish, Dad seemed not too pleased. A slight frown appeared on his forehead, perhaps due to the mess and the somewhat destructive nature of his little daughter. Dad gently reminded Lily about keeping things clean, then patiently set about cleaning up the stains Lily had caused. After the floor was once again clean and sparkling, as before, Dad decided to prepare another snack for Lily, one that was both delicious and allowed her to participate in the preparation process boiled corn. Dad brought out some fresh corn cobs, still wrapped in their green husks from the kitchen. Then he sat down with Lily and began the task of peeling the husks and removing the silky threads. Lily was very interested and enthusiastic about assisting in this work. Although her tiny hands might not have been very skillful, and sometimes she seemed more interested in playfully tugging at the soft corn silk than actually helping Dad husk Lily's presents, and joy made the atmosphere truly warm and cheerful. While father and daughter were engrossed in preparing the corn, suddenly from outside the window, summer raindrops began to fall, growing heavier with each passing moment. The large, clear raindrops drummed against the roof and the window panes, creating a lively, natural melody. Lily curiously looked out the window, watching the raindrops dancing, creating shimmering circles on the courtyard surface. A little later, Dad put on a thin raincoat, perhaps to avoid getting wet, then quickly went out into the yard, even though it was still raining quite hard. Lily looked out bewildered, following Dad's figure as it disappeared into the rain.
Dad.
Đi đi. Đi đâu đấy? Đây, có này đi nè. Đi. Mang ghế vào đi con, cầm ghế vào đi. Kéo ghế vào đi. Đây. Kéo vào nhà đi, vào nhà đi. Đúng không nhà đi con? Sao?
Before long,
yeah.
Dad returned, and in his hand was an unexpected trophy. From the rain, a fresh, large, round coconut, perhaps just picked by Dad from the coconut tree in their garden. Dad used a large knife to skillfully chop off the top of the coconut, revealing the white flesh and the clear, pure coconut water inside. He carefully poured the coconut water into a cup, then inserted a straw and gave it to Lily. Lily delightedly took the coconut, sipping the sweet, pure coconut water, a wonderful gift from nature on a rainy day. Afterwards, Dad also split the coconut in half, using a spoon to scrape out the soft, white, young coconut flesh for Lily to enjoy. The rich, slightly crunchy taste of the coconut flesh also greatly pleased Lily.
Đánh miếng cho Ly xem nhé. Đây nữa Ly, đây nữa này. Đúng rồi, bỏ đi. Đúng rồi. Rồi, đây nữa con. Đây nữa. Bỏ trong đi, đúng rồi, đây nữa con. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Chờ tí. Đây nữa.
After enjoying the delicious fresh coconut, Lily once again demonstrated her responsible spirit and adorable nature by helping Dad clean up the coconut shell pieces and any bits left on the table and floor. She took a cleaning cloth and diligently wiped here and there, though perhaps not very effectively. Dad was very happy and proud of Lily's initiative and progress. And to reward her good behavior and diligence, Dad gave Lily a little more coconut water to drink like a sweet word of praise. An afternoon for Lily thus passed with an unsuccessful lesson that instead opened up opportunities for creative mischief. Delicious treats from nature, and also small lessons in neatness and responsibility. Although there were moments of slight messiness above all, it was filled with Dad's boundless love and infinite patience for his mischievous but also incredibly adorable and intelligent little monkey. Every moment was a beautiful memory, a brick building the sacred father-daughter bond.
Chứ bình thường không ai làm đâu. Để đây xíu thôi ha. Rồi, cho nhỏ nữa thôi ha. Đi, đến nước dừa uống đi. Đến nước dừa uống xong mình lấy cái bánh ăn vào vừa ha. Ghi nha. Đây. Con ra ghế ngồi đi. Để bạn lấy cho mình ly nhá. Để lấy ly đựng nước ha. Đâu, cái ống đâu. Đó. Thấy không? Chờ xíu nhá, sắp được rồi. Chờ tí. Đây đi ơi, dính ở đây. Đây. Chờ xíu. Chờ tí nha. Để con bỏ đây cho Ly nha. Nhìn đã không Ly hả? Rồi, ra ghế đi. Đây. Ly cho ba bỏ đây.
One afternoon, as the golden rays of the summer sun still lingered on the treetops and the verandas creating a warm and peaceful ambiance, little monkey Lily slowly awakened from what was likely a very sound and refreshing midday nap. She was curled up in a thin powder pink blanket adorned with cute white unicorns with sparkling horns, a private world full of warmth and dreams that Dad had prepared for her. Lily gently rubbed her big round dark eyes, still a little heavy with sleep, then stretched out languidly, her small muscles extending with a sense of well-being. Afterwards, she nimbly slipped off her cozy bed, ready to start an afternoon filled with exciting activities and delicious treats awaiting her. The first thing Lily, a little monkey, already quite familiar with the household routine, did was to find her way to the familiar refrigerator in the kitchen corner. she knew that it always contained her favorite cool drinks. With dexterity and a touch of playful mischief, Lily used both hands to pull open the refrigerator door. A gust of cool air wafted out, carrying the faint aroma of various foods. Lily peered inside, then reached for a carton of fresh cold milk, perhaps the strawberry-flavored kind that she adored. Lily held the milk carton with both hands, then toddled out to the living room, found a comfortable spot, maybe on the soft sofa or her own little table, then inserted a straw and slowly began to enjoy each sweet, creamy sip.
Oh my gosh!
Ly ơi, Ly. Ly, đâu rồi? Ủa, đâu rồi? Ly ơi, Ly, bố về nè. Ly ơi, Ly, đâu rồi? À, cái gì này? Cái gì bố tùm lum này? Ly ơi, Ly, làm gì đấy? Ừ? Làm gì chui đấy? Hả? Ra bác xem nào. Đây bác xem nào.
Dad.
Ui trời ơi, sao mặt mũi bẩn thế này hả? Toàn bột này. Hả? Con làm bánh thì gọi ba nhé. Nè, con làm bánh cho Ly nhé. Ui, cẩn thận là đổ nhé. Quên mất nhỉ. Đây. Thôi để từ lau tay sạch sẽ để ba với Ly làm bánh nhá, thấy chưa? Cái tay dơ quá, cái mặt nữa này. Mặt thì ghê này, thấy không? Này đúng thợ bánh này ha. Đúng không? Đúng thợ bánh không?
After refueling with the fresh milk, Lily joined Dad in the kitchen again to prepare another enticing dish. Today, father and daughter decided they would try their hand at making steamed buns a delicious treat that also involved many fun steps for Lily to participate in. Dad took out fine white flour, a little yeast sugar fresh milk, and other necessary ingredients for the bun casings, and the filling. Perhaps a savory minced meat and wood ear mushroom filling, or a sweet mung bean paste? Lily was visibly very excited and thrilled to assist Dad. She stood beside him, her round eyes curiously observing Dad's every movement, from mixing the flour and kneading the dough until it became smooth, white, and elastic. Occasionally, Lily would reach out her hand to gently touch the soft dough, feeling its springiness. Dad skillfully divided the dough into small portions, rolled them out thinly, then placed the filling in the center and shaped them into pretty little buns, pristine white, either perfectly round or with beautiful, intricate folds. Lily was also graciously given a small piece of dough by Dad to freely create with. Her tiny hands tried their best to imitate Dad, pressing and shaping, though her final product might not have been as round or beautiful as Dad's. The joy and pride evident on Lily's face as she completed her own steamed bun was truly endearing. The pretty white little buns were then neatly arranged in a steamer basket and placed on the stove. While waiting for the buns to cook, the characteristic aroma of flour and bun filling began to slowly permeate the entire kitchen, then wafted out into the living room, creating a truly warm and inviting atmosphere. Finally, when the buns were cooked through, puffed up, and exuded a delightful fragrance, Dad carefully took them out of the steamer. Father and daughter sat down at the table together, slowly savoring the hot, soft, fluffy, and delicious steamed buns they had made with their own hands. The sweetness of the bun casing combined with the rich flavor of the filling was truly a wonderful culinary experience.
Rồi. Đây, mình đây. Ha ha. Ngon quá ha. Rồi, mang qua đây con. Mang đây. Đổi lên đầu đi. Đổi lên đầu đi. À. Rồi, bây giờ mình đi nhé. Ra dọn nhé. Rồi đi. Đi dọn này. Đây ha, đây này, đúng rồi đấy. Đây Ly. Đây Ly ơi, mang ra đây. Cảm ơn Ly nhé. Đi lấy kia cho bà đây kìa. Nghe bạn.
After finishing the steamed buns, and perhaps resting for a bit, Lily once again demonstrated herself to be a resourceful and diligent little monkey. She went out with Dad to the front porch area, where dried leaves from the nearby banyan or flamboyant trees had fallen and accumulated on the patio surface after the overnight winds. Lily took a plastic bag that Dad handed her, then diligently, meticulously picked up each dried leaf one by one and placed it into the bag. Lily's tiny hands worked nimbly, showing no signs of fatigue or boredom. Although the task might have seemed a bit oversized for a small frame like Lily's, and perhaps she only managed to collect a small portion of the fallen leaves, her persistence, diligence, and desire to contribute to making their yard cleaner and tidier were truly commendable. Dad stood by occasionally encouraging and praising his little daughter.
Đây Ly. Chơi không? Chơi cái này không? Đây, lên đây. Lên đây ngồi. Ngồi đi. Ngồi đây, ngồi đây. Ngồi đây. Ngồi đây. Đó, đưa tay vào đây nhá. Rồi, ngồi im, ngồi im, ngồi im. Ngồi im, đúng rồi. Ngồi im, tay nữa. Giữ tay chặt nhé. Đó, giữ tay vào đây nhé. Ngồi im đi. Lên nào, lên nào. Ở đây đi, đây. Nào, con mở đi. Cái chủ chắc quá ha. Đây. Đây là món khoai cho Ly nhé. Đóng tủ lại này. Đóng tủ lại. Lên trên đi. Con ngồi đâu? Con ngồi đấy, đúng rồi đấy. Đây là món khoai nhé. Đưa cái mũ đây này. Đúng rồi. Lấy khoai đi. Vào đây. Ý, chưa ăn được đâu. Chưa ăn được đâu nhé. Lấy cái tô ngâm nước. Đây, đây Linh. Cầm đấy. Bỏ ghi cho ba đi. Đúng rồi, cảm ơn Ly nhé. Ngồi xích ra, cái ngủ bây giờ đấy nhé. Làm ba củ nhé. Chứ nhiều quá ăn không hết nhỉ.
After cleaning up the patio, father and daughter returned to the kitchen, continuing with other exciting culinary projects. This time, the chosen dish was crispy French fries, a favorite snack for many, and perhaps Lily was no exception. Dad took out some large, round, golden-skinned potatoes from the basket. The first step was peeling. Dad used a peeler, skillfully removing the thin outer skin, revealing the pale yellow potato flesh underneath. Afterwards, Dad washed the potatoes clean and then sliced them into long, even strips. Lily was also very enthusiastic about participating in this stage. Although she couldn't directly handle the knife to peel or slice the potatoes, she sat beside Dad intently watching his every move, occasionally picking up a small piece of potato that had fallen and bringing it to her mouth to quality check with a very serious expression. When the potatoes were sliced and drained, Dad heated a deep pan of cooking oil on the stove. Once the oil was hot enough, Dad slowly added the potato strips. The sound of the potatoes sizzling in the hot oil was very cheerful. Lily watched from a safe distance, her eyes never leaving the pan of potatoes that were gradually turning an appealing golden brown. When the fries were cooked to a crispy golden perfection and exuded a delightful aroma, Dad carefully scooped them out, placing them on a plate lined with absorbent paper. The hot, fragrant French fries were ready. Father and daughter.
Thử với Ly nhé, món khoai tây nhé. Để cho Ly chắc ăn nhé. Ngon Ly hả? Cái này lâu lâu được ăn cho Ly nhé. Nhiều dầu lắm, lâu lâu ăn thôi nha. Cứ ăn cho vui thôi nhé. Ha. Rồi.
And finally, to conclude a busy day filled with joy and delicious food, Lily and Dad prepared a rustic but no less appealing dish together. Boiled corn on the cob. Fresh young corn cobs with plump, juicy kernels, perhaps just bought by Dad from the morning market or picked from their own garden, were husked by father and daughter together, removing the outer green leaves and soft, silky threads. Afterwards, the pristine white corn cobs were washed clean, then placed in a large pot covered with water and set on the stove to boil. While waiting for the corn to cook, Lily perhaps engaged in some adorable, mischievous games or simply sat quietly beside Dad, listening to the stories he told. When the pot of corn began to boil and the characteristic sweet aroma of boiled corn started to fill the house, anticipation was clearly visible on Lily's face. And then, when the corn cobs were cooked through the kernels, plumped up and turned a vibrant golden yellow, Dad carefully took them out onto a plate. Steam rose invitingly, carrying the natural sweet fragrance of corn. Father and daughter, each holding a hot cob of corn, sat together and enjoyed it. Vin gut, then deo thom quatun hat, ngonumat kai ketat tron ven va amap chomat. Gai, dai jai, nuhung hot, jong iang ya. A day for Lily thus passed with an alternation between moments of independence, like getting her own milk, times of being a resourceful helper to Dad, in making steamed buns and cleaning the yard, to jointly discovering and preparing delicious treats like French fries and boiled corn. Every task, every meal, every moment contained a strong bond and boundless affection between little monkey Lily and her owner, her devoted
Lily
dad,
nha.
who always loved and cherished
giỏi quá
her
ha.
deeply.
Đúng rồi.
One Friday morning, as the first rays of the new day crept through the window, awakening all creatures, little monkey. Lily also slowly woke up in her cozy bed. Dressed in a very eye-catching pink and teal one-piece pajama set, Lily stretched, yawned widely, and then quickly began a new day in her role as a diligent little helper.
Hai Ly,
Dad.
đang làm gì đấy? Đang xem tivi hả? Ồ, thôi con về đây mà, đâu đi đâu, xuống đây con. Ngồi xem tivi nãy giờ à? Đói bụng chưa? Con xem nào, con mở thêm cho Lily xem nhá. Con ngồi đi chơi nhé. Con ngồi đây ha. Anh nhớ ba hả? Ngồi đây ba làm bắp cho Ly nhé. Thấy chưa? Con ngồi đây đi. Con ngồi đây ha. Ngồi đây ba làm cho Lily ăn nhé. Thấy chưa? Trời ơi, quần áo gì mà đẹp tùm lum vậy? Ly ơi, vào ba bảo này. Vào đây.
Dad.
Vào hả? Đây đây ba bảo. Đây Ly này. Đấy, bà chỉ Ly nhá. Quần áo này, phòng của mình này không được để bừa bội như vậy nhá. Nghe chưa Ly? Nè, con thấy quần áo bừa bội không? Đấy, kìa kìa, thấy chưa? Thấy chưa? Nè, bà chỉ Ly thôi nhá. Bây giờ nhiệm vụ của Ly ấy là dọn dẹp cái này lại nhá, nghe chưa con? Nhá. Nghe chưa con? Ha. Phòng ở đây dọn sạch sẽ cái Ly nhá. Không được để rơi như vậy nghe chưa? Kia kìa, kia đấy kìa, quần áo kia kìa. Đây này, kia kìa, thấy không? Ly thấy không? Bừa bộn không? Thôi bây giờ Lily dọn dẹp thấy chưa? Lát nó ra là dọn xong ấy. Bỏ ra máy giặt. Giỏi, có tay nào.
Lily's first task of the day was to tidy up the bedroom. She approached the bed where a few articles of clothing still lay. Lily carefully gathered each piece, hugging them tightly. The pile of clothes seemed a bit large for Lily's small frame, making her look like a teddy bear hugging a giant bouquet of flowers. Once the basket was full of clothes, Lily's next mission was to move it to the laundry station. Although the basket was a bit large and heavy, Lily was very determined. She used both hands, hugged the basket, and strenuously moved it to where the washing machine was located. Finally, when she arrived, she opened the washing machine lid herself, then, again, carefully took each item from the basket and put it into the drum, not missing a single piece.
One. Two.
Impressively, Lily even imitated Dad, standing on a small stool to reach the control panel, using her hand to try and turn the dial as if starting a real wash cycle.
4.
Lily's effort and excellent memory were truly astonishing.
5. Yay!
After completing her laundry duties, Lily moved to the kitchen area. Here, Dad was preparing a meal. Today's menu appeared to feature corn.
Ủa, xong rồi con?
Lily curiously watched Dad peel the husks and cut the fresh corn cobs into small rounds. Not content to just watch, Lily jumped in to assist.
Đây, bắp đã chuẩn bị sẵn rồi đây, ngồi đây con. Nè, bây giờ mình lột bắp nhá. Đó, thấy không? Con bỏ đây này. Đó, đúng rồi. Tốt lắm. Để ta cắt ngắn ngắn này nha. Thì mới được dễ ăn ha. Đây, con bắp này. Ly bỏ đây này. Bỏ đây đi con. Rồi, ok rồi. Ly để nắp cho ba đi.
She picked up each small round of corn that Dad had cut and placed it into a pot. Afterwards, Lily also carried a bottle of water and carefully poured it into the pot, though a little splashed out. Even more impressively, she tried to turn on the gas stove, an action that showed her astonishing observation and learning.
Rồi, ok rồi. Thôi đi ba nào. Ba xem đi làm tới đâu rồi nhé. Xong rồi ra mình ăn được rồi nhé Ly nhé.
Seeing that Lily seemed a bit tired after a busy morning of working, Dad gently picked her up. She obediently snuggled into his arms, found a comfortable position, and her eyes grew heavy as she rested in Dad's warm and safe embrace.
Đồ con bỏ đâu rồi? Đồ con bỏ đâu? Đồ con bỏ đâu rồi nè? Giỏi quá. Một đống nước đã xong rồi nhỉ? Không, bây giờ mình lên ăn nhé, được không? Giỏi lắm. Giờ mình lên ăn nhé, ha. Chắc là bắt được rồi đấy.
A little later, they returned to the kitchen. The pot of corn was cooked, and its sweet aroma filled the room. Dad carefully scooped out the rounds of corn onto a plate to cool.
Wow.
Wow. Rồi.
With meticulous love, Dad used a small fork to skillfully separate each plump golden kernel from the cob, placing them into a small bowl. Then he gave it to Lily. She seemed very excited about the dish she had helped prepare. Lily took the spoon, scooped up each spoonful of sweet, chewy corn, and ate it with relish, concluding a morning of meaningful and joyful labor. Then she found a laundry basket, stood on her tiptoes, and tried to neatly place each item inside.
Great job.
Right from the start, Lily demonstrated herself to be a little homeowner with a keen sense of cleanliness. Dressed in her home attire, consisting of an adorable light pink t-shirt and comfortable plaid trousers, Lily nimbly picked up a small piece of discarded paper or a candy wrapper lying on the floor, then toddled over to the exact location of the pretty little trash bin in the corner of the room and carefully dropped it in. This simple action showed Lily's commendable observation and learning from Dad's habits. But work cannot be without joy. Interspersed with her cleaning, Lily also didn't forget to make time for her favorite physical activities. She enthusiastically grabbed a mini basketball, perhaps almost as big as her tiny self. Lily tried to toss the ball up high, then delightedly chased after it as it bounced away sometimes, hugging the ball tightly, with both arms rolling back and forth on the floor, her clear, tinkling giggles echoing. After tiring herself out with the basketball game, Lily returned to her role as a diligent little helper. This time, she found a small feather duster, the kind Dad often used for dusting. Lily took the duster and then, mimicking Dad's movements with great professionalism, tried to dust the furniture in the house, like the tabletop, the chair rails, and even the low bookshelves. Although Lily's dusting might have only stirred up the dust a bit more, rather than actually cleaning the objects, her enthusiasm and working spirit were truly adorable. Amidst her energetic work and play, Lily also needed moments of rest and relaxation to recharge. At one point, she was seen perhaps tired out, quietly climbing onto a soft bed, maybe Dad's bed, then curling up into a little ball and quickly falling into a short, peaceful nap, her small lips slightly pursed, perhaps dreaming of exciting games. Upon waking, it seemed her awareness of household chores was still very much present. Lily was next seen hugging a small pile of pretty clothes, perhaps her own outfits that she had changed out of. Then, carefully, she put each item one by one into the drum of the toy washing machine placed in the corner of the room, an action showing her sophisticated imitation and desire to share the workload with Dad. Not stopping there, this little helper then found the mop. Although the mop seemed a bit oversized and cumbersome for Lily's small frame, she still tried very hard, using both hands to firmly grip the handle, then pushing it back and forth across the floor, attempting to make the floor surface shinier. And after finishing a carton of milk or fruit juice, Lily once again demonstrated her excellent awareness by conscientiously taking the empty carton, walking to the trash bin, and placing it in the correct receptacle without Dad needing to remind her. A little later, Lily reappeared in a completely new outfit, a vibrant yellow t-shirt paired with energetic black pants. Perhaps Dad had just changed her clothes after her earlier messy activities. In this new attire, Lily comfortably relaxed in her favorite lemon yellow armchair, a soft seat where she often lounged to read books, imaginary ones, or watch TV. In her hand, at this moment, was a toy remote control, and beside her was an amusing toy car. She was engrossed in her own imaginary world, perhaps controlling the car to explore new lands.
Wow.
It seemed that indoor activities were still not enough to satisfy Lily's adventurous spirit. Another change of outfit heralded new fun to come. This time, Lily was dressed by Dad in an incredibly cute and fitting blue polka dot swimsuit, ready for some water activities.
Ok thì đi. Bà Sen à, đi đâu về đây? Đâu về nào? Bà Sen nào, đi đâu về mặc đồ ghê ấy? À, hay là nắng không? Nắng đi tắm hả? Mày thì đi tắm uống sữa này, đi bơi này. Thôi được bà cầm đi nhá, vào đây nhá. Bây giờ nắng lắm, ngoài đấy nước hết rồi. Hãy để ba mua cho Ly một cái phao bơi nhé, được không? Đi tắm buổi nắng nhé, nha. Đi ra ngoài nắng đó, nha. Để ba tí, nha. Ba tí. Nha. Rồi, sắp xong rồi, chờ tí. Chờ tí shipper tới nhé. Ok. Rồi, bắt đặt bây giờ nhé, bắt đặt bây giờ ha. Bên trên này. Đặt đấy, thấy chưa? Chờ tí. Hôm nay ngày ba mua gần nhé, ba nhờ người ta mua gần nhé. Hàng tới Ly à? Đấy. Đây. Hàng về. Đó, đây nha. Bảo một tắm luôn đi nhé. Đây, máy bơm, đây là máy bơm. Ôi da. Quá, đúng rồi.
And the biggest joy of that afternoon was perhaps the moment Dad brought home a rather large cardboard box. Lily was visibly extremely curious and excited, not knowing what surprise lay hidden within. Father and daughter gathered around, busily opening the box together. Inside was a brand new inflatable pool, perhaps with amusing sea creature motifs, along with a dedicated air pump. Lily practically burst with joy, her eyes shining brightly with delight. Dad and Lily together carried the inflatable pool out to a sunny spot in the yard, then used the pump to inflate it fully. Afterwards, Dad filled it with cool, refreshing water. A beautiful mini swimming pool was now ready exclusively for little Princess Lily. Once the pool was brimming with water, Lily in her cute polka dot swimsuit was gently and carefully placed into it by Dad.
Bơi nè. Bắt đầu bơi cho Ly nè. Đúng rồi. Giỏi quá, tập bơi này. Giỏi quá, đúng rồi, bơi giỏi nhá. Nào, bơi nào. Tập bơi nào. Đúng rồi. Giỏi lắm, đúng rồi, giỏi lắm, đúng rồi, bơi Ly. Bơi nào. Đúng rồi. Giỏi, đúng rồi.
Lily delightedly splashed in the clear, cool water. She used her hands to beat the water, creating ripples and sending droplets flying her tinkling laughter unceasing. Dad stood by, sometimes splashing water back to tease Lily, or helping her practice swimming by lightly supporting her body. After she had played to her heart's content in the water, perhaps feeling a little tired, Dad carefully lifted Lily out. Then, he took out a bunch of fresh, juicy grapes, peeled each one, possibly even carefully removing the seeds, and gently fed them to Lily. The sweet, refreshing taste of the grapes was like a wonderful reward after her aquatic exercise.
Để bơi chứ. Đúng rồi. Nè, ngồi đây. Ngồi đây con. Lạnh quá ha. Thôi đi ra trái cây đi. Ra trái cây nhé. Đây. Đi vào phòng. Ha. Ngon ha. Oh, ngon quá. Wow.
Lily seemed to really enjoy these grapes. She ate them with relish.
Ăn cam không?
After she had finished her grape snack, Dad used a large, soft, and highly absorbent cotton towel to wrap around Lily, then gently dried her off from her soft fur to each tiny toe. Dad's attentive and loving care made Lily feel incredibly warm and safe. A busy day for Lily thus passed with a rhythmic alternation between housework, performed with seriousness and responsibility in Lily's own way, mischievous and energetic games, a constant change of outfits to suit each activity, peaceful moments of rest and relaxation, and also moments of interaction filled with love and connection with her wonderful dad. Though her schedule seemed packed, Lily's little face always shone with cheerfulness, eagerness, and a pure, simple happiness.
Giữ tay ra nè, tay lau ra nhé. Nằm xuống. Đúng rồi. Về thay đồ nhé, thấy chưa, không lạnh chưa? Quên ngủ luôn nhé. Đúng rồi, nằm rải xuống. Giờ Lý đứng đây nè. Đứng đây mà thấy nè. Đây đâu. Rồi, cứ nằm đây, nằm xuống. Đấy. Sao Lý nhé, nằm im. Rồi, đúng rồi. Đây đây. khi được tắm xong thì Lily rất là buồn ngủ nhé. Bây giờ mình massage nó là Lily sướng lắm, thích, nó sẽ ngủ luôn. Đó, rồi. Không làm phiền con nữa nhé. Rồi con ngủ nhé.